Hello and welcome back to the Arsenal Women's Chat Show, where tonight we're going to review the Man City v Arsenal game from Saturday. I know a few of us will probably be either fuming or they're just going to take it in the stride and move on with the next game. But of course, we'll be here tonight getting the reactions. So I'll introduce my panel that's on with me tonight. Obviously, I've got my wonderful husband next to me, James, because he doesn't know how to do his own things, so he just hops on my stuff. So yeah, I don't even need to ask him how he is because I've seen him all day. I probably know how he is. So I'll move on to the lovely Kevin, who's just back from Japan and has to deal with Arsenal losing to Man City. How are you feeling, Kevin?
Apart from the football, all good.
Yeah.
But
Jet lag.
We'll get on to that. Jet lag, definitely.
Yeah. You don't look bad for it though.
I'm not feeling too bad at the moment, but the weekend was rubbish. Trying to get back into our time zone is it's not easy.
Yeah, I could imagine. So, and I'll move on to Chantel. How are you feeling?
Busy. I'm just made it in time for the show and I'm not late, so I'm happy.
Well, we were 8 minutes late, but we'll allow you away with that one since you're doing the nitty gritty of how we get the future stars in our game. So we'll let you away with that one.
I think I saw some better football today from our hopefully future Lionesses than what I did from our actual Lionesses on the weekend.
I think there was only one lioness that really stood out for us, but we'll move on to her in a wee bit during the podcast. I'm sure there's lots to talk about. Yeah, Kevin. I'll just say a few hellos. Obviously, Catherine's in, and Nightie's in. He's sick of James's predictions already, and if he keeps it up, he's going to get kicked out of the prediction group chat that we have. So, yeah. Oh, good. I hope you are all well. Please like and subscribe if you can. I'm sure that'll make George happy. And then, of course, we've got the lovely Darren in. Hello, Darren. I hope you're well. And so I'll move on to obviously Saturday's game. I'll obviously get my thoughts and we'll have a discussion on about it. So, Chantel, I'll start with you. So, what was your initial thoughts on that starting lineup when that obviously came out?
I mean, looking at it now, I think giving Lotta a couple of minutes in the game before the weekend kind of gave a hint that she might get minutes. A starting lineup for her where she hasn't played any games apart from in training base. I think to go up against City, who, let's be honest, we do class them as the top four that would give us the most competition. Why not give Katie Reid a chance? Yeah, she's young. I mean, it doesn't matter now we lost, but, to get Katie up to the level we want her to be at, she's going to have to play these tough teams and learn. And she did that with Villa from the end of last season to how she played against Villa this season. So you've got to start putting trust in her. She's able to play week in, week out, then why not give her the chance to start against a team like that instead of giving it to Lotta, who I'm not saying she shouldn't have played, but she could have came on if things were going to pop with having Katie Reid up against like the likes of Bunny Shaw and that. Same across most of it. Apart from that, I think that was the only shock that really had us in our starting lineup.
Yeah, were you particularly shocked about Vicky Pavlova starting, or were you expecting that, or were you expecting Frida Manon to maybe start? What's your thoughts on that one?
I think I kind of had a hint that Pavlova was going to start, just because we know Kyra seems to not be starting or getting as much minutes now, but it seems to be Pavlova is starting to gain more trust from Renee. And I think from how, I'm not saying Marnham's been bad, but she's also not been on her best form. Apart from scoring a goal here and there, you don't hear much of her in the recent games.
Yeah. Kevin, I'll come on to you. What is your thoughts on the whole Katie Reid and Lotte Wibben-Moy situation? I mean, prior to the Man City game, Lotte Wibben-Moy had only played 3 minutes of a game. For me personally, I think Katie Reid should have started that game, or it should have been a sub that should have been left. In terms of when, like, so that we got the draw from Chloe Kelly, that maybe Katie Reid could have come on and tightened up that defence. What's your thoughts on that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the choice to go with Lotte was probably due to experience against City. But given our inability to defend a looping deep corner, Katie, in hindsight, was the obvious player to be in there for those. I just think I think overall we're struggling for confidence. I think that's part of the problem. I love Daphne, but her confidence is shot by the look of it, because you need your keeper to be coming for those. But yeah, I think it was for the experience rather than, or maybe she just felt like giving Katie a rest, because she's been excellent and she's worked very hard. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Renee's. Obviously, we'd all love to be inside her head, but she's the only one that's in there. So
yeah, at the end of the day, we're not the manager. We don't see what's going on in behind the scenes in training. And of course, for me personally, I was a bit shocked that Katie Reid hadn't started that game, because I think in the previous 3 games, Katie Reid has shown that she was capable of starting that game. For me, my lineup did consist of Katie Reid and Steph Catley and that centre-back pairing. James, I'll come to you, obviously, about what your reaction was about it, and of course, yeah, fire away.
Obviously, you seen my reaction when you read my routine is literally, obviously, like you said, I went for 3-1 Man City win. We scored one more than I thought we would have. And the simple reason was Laura went, Lotte is in, Katie Reid's dropped, and I went, we're beat. I don't mean it bad against Lotte Wibben-Moy, but you don't go starting a defender that's played less than 90 minutes of football in this last year. In the last year, I think what's a lot of Wibben-Moy's played about 87 minutes. I seen somewhere somebody said that was a poor decision for Renee. Saying that, tactically, I mean, we'll get into obviously the game later on, but as everybody says, you're coming up against Bunny Shaw, one-trick pony. It's sheer strength. And Arsenal in no way, shape or form managed to manage it on Saturday. I don't remember what day we played. But I think last few games have got us a bit kicked in the teeth. Obviously, that defeat's got us well bummed. But if I say really what I thought, I'd probably get the show banned. So be nice tonight.
In terms of obviously results over the last few weeks, my thought was there was going to be one team in there that was always going to catch us out, and it was always going to be a bigger team. Man City done that. I feel with London City Lionesses, we get away with West Ham, we get away with it. Aston Villa kind of showed the weaknesses that Arsenal actually have, and then of course Man City capitalise on that. But yeah, shocking result. But I suppose it's one that we're going to have to move on from. We're going to have to learn from. So yeah, for me, it's a game that we're going to have to say, do you know what, forget it. But in terms of other players in the team, i.e. Katie McCabe, Chantel, we'll talk about Katie McCabe for a little bit because I think most people are saying the same thing at the moment. Katie McCabe needs to be dropped. I think it's not like we don't have Jenna Knight-Swanger and Taylor Hines anymore to step in there. Do you personally think that Katie McCabe needs to be dropped going forward to be tested?
Yeah, I think out of most of them, you can see the ones that know that their place is safe on starting rather than on the bench. Going to we've seen comments where people have said like the whole Ford. As I say this, Darren literally puts it in the comment. McCabe and Ford not working on the wing, bench both. Like these two players are really infuriating because sometimes they will have really great moments where they will do a 1-2 overlap, cross it, or Katie will pass it to Ford. Ford will hold it up for Katie to overlap. Katie then gets the pass from her, and then Ford will make a diagonal run in towards the box where the ball will go into like front post for Caitlin to quickly cut it back into the 6-yard box for Russo or someone to jump onto it. They can do it. The frustrating bit is that they don't seem to be doing it as much lately, whether there's a bit where they're not on the same page or they're just not clicking at the moment together, but they weren't the best during that game. And Katie definitely wasn't the best during that game with having players like Kasparov and like other Pete, like Fujino. Katie was lucky that these type of players weren't catching her out more because she's pushing so high up and then she's not tracking back as much as what she should do. So when City goes on that quick breakaway down the wing on her side, she leaves it that so much space exposed where either Catley or someone then has to make up for that ground, and then your formation and your shape just goes to pop. And like it just shows that she wasn't the strongest there. And when they got that last goal, you can see her reaction was she puts her hands up to her head like this, like she knew it was her fault that she did it. And if you look back at it slowly, you'll see that I think it was Catley or Little comes over to be where she should be, but instead she's tracking back to make up the space that she's left open. And Benet, or however you say her name, picks up the ball from Bunny Shaw because Little's come over to block Bunny. Bunny's passed it to her, and boom, straight away goal. And Katie's behind Bunny and Benet, so that where should she be? Like you're there for a reason. Do that job. Don't worry about attacking when you've got attackers for that. Defensively, you're only as strong as what you're going to put out there, and you didn't put that much out there on that game.
Yeah. In terms of obviously the first goal, Kevin, I don't know about you, but I feel Kate McCabe was also to blame for that. We're not always here to just blame one player. Let's face it, the whole team on Saturday wasn't at their best, and they haven't been their best the last 3 games now. But for me personally, Kate McCabe stands out like a sore thumb. What was your perspective on that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think there's a few of them that are just not, as you say, they're not at the races at the moment. Yeah. Now, whether they're tired, shouldn't be. Certainly not overconfident. Yeah, I think they do. 1 or 2 need the proverbial kick in the butt. it's all right putting your arm around players, but occasionally they do need a kick in the arse. And so, yeah, I do think that, although, yeah, I mean, such scrappy stuff. We score great goals.
Yeah.
And even bundling them in when they don't even know anything about it. But yeah, I think we were absent without leave, basically, at times at the back. And not just Katie, but it does put pressure on the rest. You can't cover 2 or 3 players if somebody goes missing.
Yeah. I'll just obviously go back into the comments again. There's a few people that's obviously come in since we've started the show. Obviously, Ryan's in the house, the Mr. Arsenal podcast himself. Hello, Ryan. I hope you're okay. Just a quick question, Kevin. Darren's asking did you bring him any presents back for Japan? Certainly didn't bring back the score.
Because when they went gift shopping, I was otherwise occupied with a dodgy stomach.
Oh, no, very henny, but yeah. Obviously,
definitely you need to put the one where Darren said you got it, Chantal, because I'm hardly ever right. So we can just say that Darren said I got it. That would be like props for me, please.
There we go. Obviously, Kathleen is asking the question, why can't we start Chloe Kelly and Olivia Smith before we go deep diving into that? I know James has got a strong opinion on this next question that I have, so I'll ask him it and then I'll obviously get yourselves' opinions on it. So Chloe Kelly comes on and scores in the 83rd minute, which was an absolute banger of a goal. What a goal to score against your previous club. And then, of course, badge taps. Does the good old badge tap, points to the badge as if to say, this is my club. She put a post out saying this was her club. So, and then receives backlash off the Man City fans. What do you think of that one, James?
It's all part of the banner. Playing for those who know understand, earlier on, obviously, when all the Arsenal Women's Forum on Facebook, I don't even know who the person was. I didn't get to catch their name before they deleted all the comments. Basically, we've to outlaw booing because it's male aggression from the men's football, and it's cancerous to the women's game, and we don't want it. I'm sorry. See if booing at a football game upsets you, football's the wrong game for you. Legit. I get there are many lines you don't cross in chance. Many a line. But booing, having a bit of banter with a opposing team. We all seen it. Chloe Kelly took it in her stride. Literally, the full stadium booed, and the first thing Chloe Kelly done was grinning her ear when she came running on that park. Everybody heard it. She thrives off that stuff. Most players do, but for me, it wasn't just so much. I think the thing was we got it both ways. Kelly, as you say, scores a banger. Gives all the celebrations, rubs the salt in the wind to all the Man City fans. 5 minutes later, we're doing 3-2 and we've lost it. We've lost the game, and as Man City tweeted it, Chloe Kelly, what's the score? But it's all part and parcel. For me, it's all part and parcel of the banter. But seeing that on social media, the whole outcry, oh, Chloe Kelly's getting victimised. Fuck off. Seriously, if a bit of booing towards one of your fan favourites upsets you, go and give cricket a try, because football's not for you.
Yeah, I think that's a strong opinion from James there. Obviously, Chantal, I don't know what anybody else's opinion is on that, but I do strongly agree with James there. If you can't go to a football game and can't handle the scandal, basically, then yeah, I don't think, as James says, football's a game for you, because I know one of the things was that we didn't ever want to bring that kind of thing over to the women's game, but it was always going to come over, wasn't it, Chantel?
Yeah, I mean, well, calm down, James. Saying fuck off to people might get you cancelled now. No, yeah, like obviously you see some players may not like kind of like the fan culture of like the booing and the banter and that lot. However, like football is, let's say, a middle class sport. So you're always gonna have like the little like hooliganism of like banter, cheering, chants. You have chants for a reason. I mean, I'm not being funny. We have like, what do you think of Tottenham shit? Who do you think of shit? Like, you have chants like that because it's fun. It's the to and fro. It gets people up in the atmosphere. The atmosphere is what the players want, and then they go on to create more. It's just that fine line between like, right, it's banter, it's like a little bit of rivalry, brilliant, and then you get some people that just don't know, like they don't know the difference between a joke and going full extreme, but they ruin it for people, where you get the racism, you get the hate, you get people that are basically sad sitting behind a computer because they're protected behind a screen, able to say what they want and send it rather than like deal with it face to face. So like, I'm all for the rivalry. You can see players like it when they do things, and like, as long as it doesn't cross that line, I can't see why you can't have a bit of rivalry banter with people.
Yeah, I mean, a response to that tweet was simply beautiful.
Was a great response. It was a bang response, like her goal of her lying down, just winning the Champions League. So what's the score for that one little league game? Oh, wait there. What's in our trophy cabinet currently? Then come back to us, please.
Yeah. Obviously, Kevin, I'll come on to you with the whole question about why we can't start Kelly and Smith together. I never ever actually noticed that until that question was brought up there. Yeah, I don't actually know why that wouldn't happen, but for me, when that lineup was put out, my biggest question was, why isn't Chloe Kelly starting in that game? She knows most of those players. She's played with those players. She'll know how they work.
And she had a point to prove.
Yeah, she did, by obviously scoring a goal, and but I think indecent as well. Like, she went back to that ground and showed. You can see videos where she was giving the ground staff cuddles and talking away to them. But obviously, touching on the whole Chloe Kelly and Olivia Smith question, why do you think that is that we don't start them together?
It's possibly she just hasn't got round to it yet. Although, having said that, I wasn't overly impressed with Olivia Smith on Saturday. Her crossing was absolutely woeful. Kept getting into the positions, fantastic. Taking players on, fantastic. Crosses, most of them went out for throw-ins the other side.
Yeah.
Her radar was well off, but I think it will come. Who knows? Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I've got an add-on to that. Catherine said in the comments they haven't even played much together. I know Kelly started with the season with a slight knock, but she seemed to be fully fit last game. Do you think that behind closed doors she's still not where she was, and they're just being very cautious of, if we push her too much for a full 90 minutes, that she's prone to reneging something? Or do you think they're just being overcautious now and she seems to be ready, give her that time?
In terms of the whole, obviously, if she does have a niggle and whatever, the first problem of that is we now have the players, i.e. Bethany, Caitlin Ford, even Taylor Hines slots into there. She can play on the wing. Olivia Smith. We now have players on that wing that we could take Chloe Kelly out and rest her properly. If Chloe Kelly isn't, or any other player in that team isn't properly healed from an injury, do not whatsoever sit them on a bench. That's just my preference. If they're sitting on a bench, they're fit enough to be playing in terms of they're there, they're contributing. I don't know in terms of what Chloe's maybe saying herself, that she can say, oh, I'm fit, or like, then that's down to player and club to decide how many minutes that player gets, or if that player is comfortable playing on an injury, then that's down to the player themselves. But I don't really know in terms of why Chloe wouldn't start that game. It baffles me. It still baffles me, and we're 3 days on, and we're 2 days, sorry, and I'm still wondering what that problem was that she never started that game. But I suppose we'll never ever know. So, yeah. Obviously, I'll go on to the comments again and see if anybody's got any questions for us. Obviously, we've answered a few before we move on to tomorrow's game. I think in terms of the Man City game, as I says, we just have to put it to bed, and I think everybody else would like to put that one to bed. If anybody else is wanting to ask each other any more questions about Saturday, then fire away while I'm looking for questions. I'd be happy to answer, or if anybody else is happy to answer.
I do have a question for Darren in the comments, because obviously he is the CEO of Stina Blackstenius. How do you feel that Stina was very wasteful on that, what basically one-on-one chance with Yamashita, that could have been a turning point of, if we did take the lead, could it have ended up being a different outcome for us?
There's his answer there that I've just pinned.
Can you tell Stina that next time you see her then?
I can't personally answer for Dan, but obviously I'm one of the shouts for Stina to get more game time. The thing is with Stina's one of the ones you can't, like said, as you said, that chance, she had far too much time to think about it. Far too much time. Stina, you'd have been better taking that ball about an extra 15, 20 years forward, then give Stina it. See if Stina's got a split 2-second decision to make. 9 times out of 10, she'll force a decent save for the keeper. Don't get me, still decent enough. The keeper still had to keep it out, but I think everybody's going to say the same thing when we've seen it. Chip the keeper. She's already practically sitting on the ground. Chip her. But Stina is, for me, she's a striker that gets far too in her head too often. That being said as well, I think the pressure got to a lot of the team. Not just Stina on Saturday. And for me, the lineup was defensive. We went defensive when it will counter-attack. Rather than getting into that game going, no, we're the dominant team, Man City's going to need to defend against us. That, because as you said earlier on, the cross boys, I think, as you said, we picked up on near enough every one of them ended up shies or goal kicks at the corner flags. And it just seems, I think somebody said it earlier on, I don't know, obviously you might feel the same, we're suffering a major European hangover.
Yeah. Obviously, Catherine has said that Stina not knowing how to clip a ball is frustrating. This is not the first time that she's been one-on-one, and then obviously the shots just went right at the keeper. I think the keepers know she won't clip. Kevin, what do you have to say to that one? Because you seem like a Stina guy yourself.
Actually, I'm a Russo guy, but yeah, I'll agree with James. If she's got too much, Stina's got too much time to think about it. It's gone. She's instinctive. She's an instinctive finisher, and if she hasn't got any time to think about it, it's there. You know, but yeah. Overall, I think we did have plenty of the possession in the final third. Just didn't know what to do with it. I saw somebody on the fans forum posted about Russo not scoring. And my answer to that was, if I don't put petrol in my bike, it doesn't go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We're not providing chances. Because we'll get to the edge of the penalty area, down to the byline, and the next thing, we're back on the halfway line. So it's a bit pointless, really.
Yeah.
We need to get back to doing what we were doing just after Renee took over and playing with that freedom and confidence.
Yeah.
And creating chances, getting the ball in the box. Until we get back to that, we're going to suffer.
Yeah, I was obviously on a watch along for Ryan, who's in the chat, for his channel on YouTube, and that was one thing that one of the panelists obviously said on that was that if you don't give Alessia Russo the ball, what do you want her to do with it if she's not getting the service that she's provided? And it is one thing that as Arsenal fans always say, yeah, she's not getting the goals, but we need Alessia Russo to do the work off the ball. And to me, it seems like we couldn't even get the ball to her for her to do that on Saturday as well. So in terms of that, I think there's something not clicking. And my biggest thing about it is when we won the Champions League, the one thing that people said, oh, that's the pressure off now. That's the pressure off. Arsenal won the Champions League. No. Pressure's not off. We have the biggest pressure on our backs now.
Yeah.
So we do. We have the biggest pressure on our backs in terms of we now need to go and win the league, which for me is gone. So I don't think there's a way that we pull that one back. There's the pressure on us to now then.
That good.
Personally, Kevin, I don't think most of the top four are good this season. No. Man U will get up the tree and fall right back down. Tottenham will get up the tree, fall right back down. But there will be a time that you will see these teams start to struggle, especially Man U with being in the Champions League. These teams get up there at the start of the season and they just come crashing down by the second half of the season. But in terms of pressure on Arsenal, it's there. And I don't know if you feel the same, Chantel, that the pressure's there. There's no denying it. And I feel that's what's in the players' minds.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like we saw it with the Lionesses when they won the Euros. We were the national team to beat, whether it was a friendly or a qualifying game. And now with Arsenal having the Champions League under their belt, it's like, okay, like if we can beat them, who they've just won this, then that is saying something for our team. And as winners, you don't want to be dropping points or losing to teams that are either one, not even in the Champions League, or two, are going to be like contending to be in a spot for either next season's Champions League or even this season's Champions League. Imagine, obviously, it's on the day, it's so hard and so different because it depends on what team turns up. If you have a great Arsenal team, brilliant. If you have an Arsenal team play how they played against United, and that was the Champions League final, for it to be 0-0 the way that they played would be shocking. And I think they know that, they're aware of that, whether it's the pressure of at the moment being in all 5 titles, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, whether it's the pressure of just winning and like how do we keep up this winning streak? Well, we've already lost that. So now what is our focus going to be? Like you said, the title race to come first. I think physically, if Chelsea keeps going the way they're going, they've had a couple of points dropped from a draw, but they know how to get to the 90 minutes, either equalising and then getting another goal. And then once they've got that goal, they know how to not concede late equalisers to get them the 3 points. At the moment, we're struggling with not letting teams equalise in the last dying minutes or even scoring against us for us to lose all 3 points. But we've either dropped too many points or we've lost too many points that I don't see us getting up there. So for the title race, our main focus should be ending up in the top 3 so that we're back in the Champions League next season if we don't win it again this season. And then you've got the FA Cup, the Subway Cup, and then the Club World Cup. So wherever your focus is going to be now for that, like, are you going to put strong teams out to go for the other trophies and then during league games have a bit more of a rotation? It would be interesting to see where her direction is going to go for focusing now. And obviously our main focus will be how we play tomorrow against Lyon.
Yeah. Obviously, as you just mentioned it there, Chantel, we are back in Champions League action tomorrow. And of course, our first game comes up against Lyon. So, James, I'll come to you with this question. We've seen Mariona obviously play back up to our usual, higher up in the midfield. We've obviously seen her drift back a little further back from in the midfield in previous games. Do you think Mariona needs to just stay further up, or do we just let Mariona do what Mariona does and flop?
I'm saying this stumped here because can be controversial. I think Mariona is one of the ones that needs dropped. That being said, we need to go out all guns blazing tomorrow night. And for that, I think an informed Mariona is the person to be able to do it. European nights are always playing European teams are always different. You've got more time in the ball. It's more flicky tricky than the likes against your Cities, against your Aston Villas and stuff, where teams are a lot tighter, teams are a lot more open and wanting to go. Playing at Meadow Park is going to be tight for her. But I think you've got, if she plays tomorrow, I wouldn't even just say Mariona, let the team do what they want to do. Because as obviously we picked up on, when Renee first took over, it was the freedom. We had to show what you can do. And I think we need to revert back to that. But they have won. Obviously, DVD was amazing last year and stuff, but that's now 6 and 5 she's conceded. How much more time do you plan on giving her before? I'm not suggesting Manu for a second here. But
everyone worried then.
The surprise for most Arsenal fans that might shock some is we did actually sign another goalkeeper in the summer. When do we plan on giving her a shout? And as you say as well, the likes of Taylor Hines, giving Olivia Smith a full 90 minutes. And somebody pointed out, Liverpool scored, I think it's 1 goal in 5 games since we bought the two of them. Yeah, Arsenal aren't interested in playing the two of them in the same park at the same time. That, for me, I think if she's going to go tried and tested, Leon will demolish us tomorrow. I think she needs to go a bit experimental and also go free range, show what you can do. This is your stage to put the marker. leave it to the players.
Yeah. In terms of obviously players starting tomorrow, Kevin, do you think Renee needs to get her tactics right tomorrow?
Well, yeah, she is. We just need to be on it from the start. Bit more intensity, bit more speed. We need to be attacking at speed, not backwards, sideways, all that malarkey. When we go in, we go.
Yeah.
But on the Mariona thing, she's not had a very good start to the season. She's been missing in the main. She's not actually created much. Oh, yes, she got her goal Saturday, but I've been waiting for her to spark the team, and she hasn't done it. So does that mean we want to play her in the 10? Get her up there, let her run across the park, go where she wants to go to get the ball and spark things? Quite possible. But yeah, the midfield's going to be where it's won and lost tomorrow night. She's got to get that right.
Yeah. In terms of the midfield, Chantel, the one thing that the Man City manager, said was he targeted Arsenal's midfield because he knew that they hadn't been up to par recently. In terms of the midfield, who do you want to see starting in that 11 that's going to make that midfield strong and have Lyon struggle against us, especially at Meadow Park where we're not going to have the space as much as we do at the Emirates?
I mean, for one, like midfield, you can't drop Kimmy Little. At the moment, she's been the main pillar for us in midfield. She's the only one that's been present there and has been like actually putting a shift in. It's hard because what we don't see behind closed doors is we don't know how players are training, if they're on par or if they're going through a bit of a bad phase. But like if Renee said, you know what, let's put Little, Kyver and Mariona and see how it goes, at least she's given it a chance. If it goes to shit, then it goes to shit. But you have to start being a bit more like not as like scared in trying new things, because if we keep to the same things, we're going to start getting predictable, which teams are starting to suss us out and they're eliminating how we play, so then we can't play at all. But it's just it's frustrating because obviously we don't have the full image of everything. So what we can say is that we'll say this and then it actually turns out, you know, I said that, and knowing my like Kyra is actually like on a bad little run at the moment. So like it's just frustrating. But we definitely have to try new things, and it's frustrating that the same players that don't do much during the game but will then end up getting a goal or getting an assist. Oh, they've done their job, they're safe for next week. No. If overall they didn't play that well, put someone on that has a point to prove. Look at Kelly. Kelly has been like proven her point coming on as a sub to be like, this is why I should be starting. Give it to other players to show that chance as well, because at the moment there's not many of them that I'd be starting who do start regularly.
Yeah. In terms of obviously Kyra Cooney-Cross, James, she obviously came on for the last 10 minutes of the Man City game. By that point I was furious at like I don't know, but What did you make of, obviously, Kyra Cooney-Cross coming on? And I wouldn't say necessarily Kyra Cooney-Cross put a foot wrong. In the last 10 minutes of a game, you can't really expect a player like that to give you much if he's not really read the game much. So
I said it on Saturday. I kind of overshouted it when they watched on. I wasn't part of it. I was just after the side. You can't fault any of the subs that came on Saturday. They all came on. They gave that burst of energy, which no just does, but the game in general needed. We're starting to kind of fizzle it. We got the burst, we got the goal, and we get a defensive ball over the top cost us again. Kyra, the thing is, I've seen a lot of people, Kyra, why is Kyra not playing? Why is she not starting? Why is she? For me, it's one or two. It's either in the magical land of Renee's mind, there's a plan somewhere.
Dairy is that name.
Or she's seen something in training for Kyra Cooney-Cross that we aren't there. That likes the same as Rosa Kapaji. It's just last season we were saying the same thing when it came to her. Where's Rosa? Where's Rosa? Where's Rosa? Now it's where's Kyra? And I think it's either she's not in the plan or she's really not doing something in training. But she did. She looked promising for the 10 minutes that we've seen. But as you say, do you trust her for a full 90 minutes?
yeah, in terms of Kyra, again, we're not at training, so is it something that she's doing in training that isn't impressing Renee? Is it she just doesn't rate Kyra? I don't know. We won't know until obviously we can maybe see it moving forward whether she gets more games. We know that one of the things that when Leah Walty was leaving, that she did say about obviously the shot was there for the taking and it was Kyra's shot to take, but I don't know where that comment now lies. So yeah, obviously there's a few comments. I'll go into that. Obviously Catherine's lineup for tomorrow is Daphne Van Dormsler in goal. She's put that underneath as well. She's went with Hines, Catley, Reid, Fox, Palova, Little, Mano, Kyra, Mariona, Russo, Kelly or Smith. So yeah, if you want to put in the comments who you genuinely think is going to start tomorrow, because in my mind I can't father who I want in that starting 11 after Saturday's shit show of a setup. Tomorrow will be a tough ride for us, I think, especially being reigning champions. Lyon will want to come at us after we beat them to obviously get to that final. So, and bearing in mind the signings that Lyon has made, Kevin, has just been out of this world, hasn't it? And we're up against a tough one considering the results that we have had in our league.
Yeah, they are going to be out for vengeance, big time. But if they want to come at us, maybe that will suit us, you know. But we will have to use a bit more pace.
Yeah. But
fingers crossed the M25 is not too bad tomorrow tea time.
Obviously, everybody wants to know where Jenna Knight's hunger is. None of us know. Renee hasn't exactly obviously come out in any press conferences and said what's actually going on with Jenna. I don't know if maybe that's in terms of she wasn't a Renee signing. Everyone's got to remember that Jenna was brought in just before Jonas was basically kicked, and she was, before Renee was officially full manager. To me, Jenna was never a Renee signing, and I don't know. Personally, I think that's a problem there, and she doesn't utilise Jenna the way she should, because as we touched on earlier on, Kate McCabe isn't up to par, and personally, I think most of us agree with each other that Kate McCabe needs to start fighting for her space. So before I end the show, I'll obviously go on to everybody's predictions for tomorrow. As I say, we're back at Meadow Park. I don't know. I don't feel great going back to Meadow Park, especially for European nights. It's not a thing. So, Chantel, I'll start with you. What's your predictions for tomorrow, and who do you think will get the first goal?
I honestly think I'm cursed, because whoever I put seems to either not start or actually just has a terrible game. Just to quickly go back to the comments, because I don't want to be rude to Taylor. She said, like, speak about it, i.e. Alessia Russo will do nothing in 90 minutes and get a goal or an assist. That will mask over her whole performance, and Arsenal fans barely criticise her for anything she does. I do criticise Russo at the moment. As much as I love her, as a striker, she should be scoring us goals. However, if you look at what she does off the ball compared to Stina, she creates more chances. Looking at the stats for the week, the game that's just gone, Russo had 23 out of 28 passes in that lot, which is way more than what Stina had. She only had 8. Given her due, she had less time, but still, Stina created 1 chance, whereas Russo created 3 chances. Her shot was blocked and 1 was off target, whereas Stina, obviously, after that one-on-one blunder, did that, but also she had 2 shots off target. I think, as we said, Stina is more in the moment, no fault, can put it away. Russo seems to be able to have time, get herself into tight spots where she can just slot it in past the keeper and things like that. She's very good going to the wings, getting the ball to then getting it into the box where her wingers or someone should be, where she then has no one there. Also, Taylor says, what has Chloe Kelly have to do to start a game for Arsenal or England? She must be scratching her head, thinking I've moved from Man City to Arsenal to get game time. I'm a bench warmer again. I wouldn't say she is being kind of pushed to the side, kind of like how we've said Jenna or Kyra is being. I think at the moment, at the beginning, it was just being very cautious of the niggle she picked up. But Renee seems to like her. I'm sure, depending on what game it is, will depend on if Kelly starts or not. At the moment, she seems to be out with determination, which means that she's got points to prove. So I would be starting her. However, I am sadly not an Arsenal coach. I am a coach for different teams. So, Renee, if you're listening, please start Chloe Kelly and try something different. That's all we ask. Sorry, I just really, really quickly talk.
It's all right. You take over.
I might have to slow it down into like minus times 1. Going to my score predictions for tomorrow. It's at Meadow Park. We love Meadow Park. It's loud. We're all close. We're close to the players. The players can hear us. I'm hoping Lyon's not going to have so many fans there, so they'll be quiet. And I'm going for a 2-0 victory to Arsenal. You know, I'm going to give DVD her confidence that she seems to be lacking. I will give that to her from me. And I'm going to say our goal scorer first is going to be, because she likes to score bangers. Well, she just likes to score goals after not scoring for a little while and not really doing much. I'm going to say Frida Marnham on the edge of the box. That's how precise I'm going to be.
Interesting. Darren thought you were going to say Stina there, I bet you. Kevin, obviously on to you. What's your score predictions for tomorrow?
Well, I'm hoping to lose my voice tomorrow night.
I hope you lose your voice as well for us.
I'm gonna get carried away. Heart over head. I'm gonna say 3-1 Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because and I'd like to have a shock scorer. Kimmy Little.
Stina.
Kimmy Little.
Kimmy Little from the edge of the box.
Yeah. Interesting one.
Yes.
I'll do my predictions before I obviously go into my lovely husband's predictions here, but they put us in a right old tough one, but Arsenal always seem to show up in Champions League. It's like they always get a right good royal kick up the butt before they go into a show of Champions League, which I'll remind everyone, if Gav's in the comments, who's a good old Chelsea fan, that we are champions of Europe. And I think we maybe got a point to prove tomorrow that trophy's ours, and it's maybe staying at Arsenal at the end of the season. So I'll go for a 2-1. It won't be comfortable. And I think Chloe Kelly will score first. And over to you, James.
Just before I give my prediction, for anybody like myself that social media is like a day or 5 behind, Renee's obviously come out today saying Lotta Webber-Moy is available for tomorrow. Didn't train due to loading reasons. Read into that however you like. Leah Williamson news. Everything seems to be going well and should be expected back in full training in November, with the potential to be back before or just after Christmas.
Yeah, good news there for obviously all the Arsenal fans that are hoping for Leah to come back. So,
other than that, my prediction, it's going to go one or two ways. If Arsenal came out playing the way we can play in Europe and the way that we did in the run-up to the final, I think it could be a right good, healthy 3 or 4 for us. On the flip side, if Arsenal play anything like they have in the last 3 weeks, I think Lyon will give us a tanking. So for that reason, I'm going to go cautious and say a 2-each draw. Where our first goal scorer, why no, we'll give to Caitlin Ford.
there you go, Nighty. If you're still in here, there's everybody's predictions. You don't need to ask us tomorrow if you want. But Darren, if you want anybody to be in the doghouse, it'll be you. If you keep up your comments the way they're going tonight. You want us to raise one? Have a bit of optimism, you.
I don't know. I think Darren's done all right so far. He's sided with me, and he said, "Are any of us free to start tomorrow?" I mean, I won't start on the pitch, but I can definitely start as a tactical analyst or as a assistant coach. So I'll take my coaching badge just in case I need to hop over the fence.
Right, you stick to defending that to us. But apart from that, there's nothing really else for us to talk about. Obviously, we have Champions League tomorrow. I don't know if I know by the sounds of it, Kevin's going to the game. Are you going yourself, Chantal?
I am. I'm hoping because I finish work at 4:30, so then it's a hop on the motorway from Southampton all the way up to try and not get stuck in that traffic, which I'm hoping I'll make it dead on time, or at least only miss the first 5 minutes of it. But if anyone asks, I don't speed.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, of course we'll be watching from sunny Scotland. I laugh because that's not exactly what's happening here in sunny Scotland, but we'll be doing our usual watching from home, cheering on. So I expect to hear loud voices tomorrow at Meadow Park because the girls are going to need us and behind them. That they're going to need that loud noise, and of course, as we touched on, back at Meadow Park, it's always a bit of a fear for teams going there. So yeah, if there's nothing else any of the other panellists want to talk about before I log us out for the night and let us get our beauty sleep.
Just wishing Chantel good luck on the motorway. That's the advantage of being on two wheels. When I get up towards Dartford Tunnel, it's a bit of a weave.
Oh, see, I don't have to go that way. I go round, so I kind of skip all the like messy bit. So Bourne was actually a little bit easier for me to get to than what the Emirates is. So I'm quite thankful. But if I do have like, if they can stop putting games on a Tuesday and make it like a Wednesday or a Thursday, and stop having games on a Saturday because that clashes with my team games, so they're making it very difficult at the moment for myself. So if they can just cater to my calendar, that'd be very appreciative. But I have got a question for everyone. Who does everyone want to see at least play tomorrow?
Kevin, I'll let you start that one.
What, that hasn't regularly been playing so far?
Yeah, either hasn't started or hasn't got that many minutes. And we all know Darren's gone for Stina.
I'd like to see Taylor Hines out there from the start. Give Katie a game off.
What about you, James?
Just for the as much as Boris probably looking at me in that game, I know I want to say Stina, but I don't think this is a starting game for Stina. Simply because we were told big things about her, I would go for Taylor Hines. But I genuinely, other than possibly bringing Lotta back out for Katie Reid, I can't see her changing that back line.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with most of, obviously, the people in the comments and Kevin and James. I think it's going to sound harsh, but I really don't want to see Kate McKee anywhere near that bench or that starting lineup tomorrow. I don't. It sounds harsh. She needs a break, especially, and it's hard to say that because Katie was one of the ones that didn't have such an action-packed summer. So Katie McCabe should have been one of the fresher players coming back. But to me, it just seems like either A, Kate McCabe is really pushing that she doesn't want to be there come the end of the season, or B, she's really lacking in fitness and it's making her struggle. So, yeah, Taylor Hines for me. And maybe Kyra Cooney-Cross coming off the bench.
Earlier.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there could be a few ones there that could be difficult. So yeah, I think that is us done for the night. Is anybody want anything else to be said? Or
well, I will shamelessly promote myself since we've got a last couple of seconds. I mean, obviously it's a bit hard because I'm down in Southampton, but if anyone has any like family, friends, or just want to promote girls football, I am a coach at Eastleigh Football Club, and I'm tasked to do a whole project of creating girls academy and girls football there because they haven't got one. So I will be putting like flyers and posters up in our group chat, share it all around, and yeah, like if anybody wants any coaching advice or tips, if they play or if they coach themselves, please feel free to message me in the comments and I can always respond to you. But yeah,
of course, I'll say obviously a few thanks to people that were in the chats tonight. Obviously, Catherine from across the pond. Hope you're well, and thank you for coming in tonight. Darren, Taylor. Obviously, there was a few further ones up as well. Ryan, 90, etc. So yeah, we'll leave it at there tonight. I think I actually think that one was a calm one, considering I think most of us were angry after we left that on Saturday. But as I say, we move on, and we move on to tomorrow, and
Where we're going to win.
yeah. And as George always says, please like and subscribe to the show. Leave comments, even share it with your friends and family. That would be great. Like, I'm sure your mums and dads would like to see us talk about Arsenal women, because I know my mum and dad do. So, yeah, so please like and subscribe, and share it out. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. And thank you very much for joining. And as we always say, come on, you Gunners. And yeah.